Hello everyone, I'm a student of postgraduate 6 and I'll give you the review of software requirement specification today. This review have 4 parts. First is organization and completeness. The second is correctness. And the third is traceability. And the final, we will talk about the special issues. So about cross-referencing. Uh, Since the software management plan is the only document finished before this document, so we only have the references to the SPMP only. But in the future, the software development document will also reference to this SRS. We are also able to write the details of the requirements, and we are also coded some of the key requirements, so the dependencies could reference to this code. And we also so far nobody has found difficulties when designing and testing the program. That means we're satisfied with the information recorded in this document. Nobody have any confusion, and we still have some conflicts about the implementation priorities, not because of the client has his own opinion about the priorities, but also we find some difficulties when implementing some of the functions. So this part will be completed before the final submission. We also mentioned the information about special conditions are also mentioned in this document, and that includes when the robot encountering error conditions or finding alternative path, and the relative information can be found in section 7.1 and 3.1. About the R002 road optimization, it is actually an extra requirement. The client only mentioned that the route optimization is only aimed to reach the survivors as fast as possible with whatever strategies applied. But in the description of this requirement, it is said the route selected should always be the shortest unless encountering with obstacles. So that's the only requirement that that is an extra requirement. There is also a requirement about the graphical user interface, since the GUI has multiple parts. So we decided to divide it into several different requirements. One is the map, another is the manual control panel, and the other is the log panel. So it is divided. So about the correctness, first, there is no requirement conflicts to other requirements, although there are some requirements has been repetitively mentioned throughout the document, but this will be improved before the final submission. And although the document is written by several different group members, but overall we are able to write this document in a non-ambiguous and concise language. The requirements listed in section 3 and 4 about the robot's behaviors can be easily assessed and verified through testing in the final test range. And but for the graphical user interface, we're not sure if it needs to be reviewed by the client himself. And about all the requirements are highly related to the project, and there is no content or grammatical errors in this document. We missed a key requirement in section 3, that is the robot's behavior when encountering survivors, though the relevant information has been mentioned in section 7, but we should add this key requirement to section 3, which is user requirements. So far, we think so far we haven't done something really important to the final project. We still have not found enough difficulty about the implementation within the constraints. So maybe during the development process, we'll find more difficulties about the implementations. So about the part 3, traceability. As I previously mentioned, there is key requirement still missing in section 3, which will be added in the final version. And in section 7 use cases, we talked about the robot's actions when encountering with boundaries, obstacles, and survivors. Except for the part of survivors, all other requirements has a corresponding description in section 3. All the requirements has dependencies, except for the key requirements, which has been referenced as code in section 3. So about the final part, the special issues. There is no design or implementation solutions mentioned in this document. It will be described in software development document. And the time criteria requirements, there is only one time criteria requirements. There is which is the robot has to find as many survivors as possible within a 20-minute time frame, and other standards are listed in about the test range, including the size of the test range and the size of the obstacles, the color of the survivors are listed in section 2.7. Okay, that's all for the for this presentation.